Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Thank you so much for staying with us here live in the den of LegacyInternetRadio.com. Real quick, just get a quick rundown of the programming that you can hear on Legacy Internet Radio. You got Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J, the flagship show heard here live every Monday from 7 to 9:30, replayed on Friday nights from 7 until 9:30. Before Friday's show, we always play a Bob Marley mix. Usually starts around 6 or so we playing Bob and the Family and all that kind of stuff. Tuesday nights, we've got Enliven Radio with Mr. LP Steven Sykes, who's in the building with us tonight, and his co-host, Mr. Sincere. Smart Talk, Socially Conscious, very, very good show. We got The Green Room with Jay Grizzy and Lissa P on Wednesdays from 7 to 9. Now, on this particular Wednesday, you definitely, and I see y'all out there listening to us on MixLR on Legacy Internet Radio, y'all need to be listening to The Green Room on Wednesday, 2 days from right now, because they will have a comedian, Tony Tone, the former ring master for the Universal Circus, is going to be in The Green Room with Jay Grizzy and Lissa P. So Legacy Internet Radio, we doing big things, and that's a good interview. I'm glad we got it. So we're looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to hearing that myself. On Thursday, we got, did they just play that? The Music Only Show hosted by yours truly. I'm playing all kinds of stuff, man. We set records with the New Edition show. We play rock music. We play soul music. So anything you want to hear, we probably going to play it on that show. We replay it on Saturdays during the day, and then at 7 to 9 on Saturday nights, you're going to have to move your furniture and get your baby powder ready, because Deep House Sessions with your girl DJ Renee Melendez, also of Jersey City, New Jersey. She is rocking the house music Saturday nights from 7 to 9 right here on Legacy Internet Radio. So we got a full slate of programming. Definitely can check us out, all of our MixLR pages. We've got archives of all our shows. The flagship show, Legacy Internet Radio, Ain't No Half Step with Marcus J, has a YouTube channel where you can hear broken down clips of the show. If you don't want to sit for the whole 2.5 plus hours, you can listen to us in smaller clips. So always check our fan pages, always check our social media for how you can get access to all of that programming, and definitely keep our new program Tune In and our partnership with them in mind. You're sitting at your computer right now, that's cool, but if you need to take a run, you need to roll out, you can always carry us with us in your pocket and tune in. Ain't No Half Step with Marcus J, live from the den of Legacy Internet Radio. I'm proud and happy to turn the microphone over to my brother, my partner, my friend Big Rube, who's going to lead us in the round table. Big Rube, what you got, my brother? You ready to rock and roll?
Hear ye, hear ye.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Everybody now, welcome to the October 7th edition of the Roundtable. As you know, this roundtable offends no one unless you feel like it offends you. If it offends you, that's a you problem. But it ain't about offending people. It's about putting stuff out there. Because really, we all need to talk about it, whichever way it goes. Now, today we have three nice little topics. The first topic is a rather interesting topic that I like. It's adult establishments. Now, the funny thing about it is, I said to somebody, hey, tonight I'm talking about adult establishments. What do you mean, the strip club? Hold on, man. There's more adult establishments other than a strip club. Even though the strip club is the majority, the other adult establishments are wherever women go to. So, because let's just be honest, women have their little clubs. I don't think they're called strip clubs. I think they're called something else. All I know is they got a whole bunch of dudes half naked in there. Not that I've been, I've seen it on TV. Now, Marcus,
Yes,
I'm going
sir.
to go to you first.
Okay.
Are you a proponent of adult establishments?
Absolutely.
All right. Now, do you feel that going to adult establishment should be cleared by your significant other before you go?
It depends on who you are and how you roll. It's probably not a bad idea to share with them where you're going if you don't want to have no drama when you get home. I mean, for me, I'll just share with me personally. You know, I've been going since before I knew her, and I never had any kind of, you know, uncomfortable feelings and sharing with her. You know, with me and fellas, we're going to strip club tonight. you know, and if she had a problem with it, she will tell me. So I'm sure she would have, and had she told me, then I would have had a decision to make.
Steven, how do you feel about the adult establishment known as a strip club?
I'm not a big proponent of it.
Not a fan? Is there a reason why, or it's just you just don't feel like they deserve to be around?
Several reasons. I've seen too many problems personally with it. Working with sports for many years, I had to hunt down people and drag them out, both men and women. Shootouts and other things. Not saying they're all bad like that. There's quite a few very well run some, and I've been to them. But overall, no.
So the atmosphere is just not your thing?
No.
Cool. That's why.
Darling.
I mean, I guess you're the third person in the room, so I'm coming to you. I have a different question for you.
Uh-oh.
How come she can't answer the same question?
Because I have something special for that's why. How do you feel about it if your man wants to go to a strip club? Do you have an issue with it, or do you feel like that, your man should not be helping young ladies or young men, because sometimes you don't know how some people be rolling, help educate people? I'm just being honest. I'm putting it out there. This is how we do it in the round table. We put it out there.
I know
That's
what
why.
she's
That's
gonna say,
why.
but I just
Well, I don't think I'm going to like it, just for the fact that he's going to be spending money.
Uh-huh.
Now, I don't care. You can go where you want to go, look at what you want to look at. That's all.
Now,
fine
is
and good.
it really about
Keep
the
that
money?
where it is.
It's really about the money.
We have to talk about this
for
money
me,
part.
Don't spend the money.
don't spend your money.
Don't spend that money. You can go ahead and look at it all you want to, but
it pay to play.
that's not my problem.
But at the end of the month, if you don't have the money for something because you spent $50 or $100
I
at strip club,
I can't go to that girl
cable's
to
not-
her bra and give her my bill.
You can spend $50 on Grand Theft Auto. You can spend, $50 at the movie theater. You can spend $50 at the arcade when they used to have
So we'll
arcades.
use it at the movie theater.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a waste of.
So
that's a waste
it's
of
not a
money.
waste for him. If he
Well-
want to go look at ass, let him go look at ass.
I've got one.
Maybe he don't want to look at yours.
Oh yes, he does.
Well, maybe you don't want him to look at yours at this point in time.
Oh, I don't care.
But see, all right.
See.
I'm not going to take over Ruben's segment, but
I mean,
I got strong
I
opinions.
see. We got.
Look at you just can't.
Well, no. Here's the thing. So you're saying as long as the bills are paid, and he wants to go to a strip club and spend $50, you don't care as long as the bills are paid.
It's got to be.
So is that a yes?
Yeah, that's
you only
fine. I
spend
don't care. I
$50
don't
at
have a
strip club?
problem. You can
Hold on. You can spend nothing in a
You
strip
can
club.
literally spend nothing. You can go to a strip club.
I've done it.
I mean, you can go. We've done it together.
See, that just made it worse.
You can go to
That
strip
just
club.
made it
I haven't
worse.
been in one in like good 5 years.
But
6
here's
years.
the irony. Here's the irony. This morning, before I left for work, take a guess what I was watching. I was watching the Players Club this morning. It just happened to be.
That was on the other day too. I watched that for the first time like 10
Yeah, I was
years.
watching the Players Club. But here's the thing. I think that once we get to the point where we realize that we talked about hormones and all that kind of stuff earlier, we just wired different, y'all. We just are. And men are voyeuristic and physical, and we like looking at women.
So wait, you can
We
go
just-
and not spend any money.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So then he can go all
Hell
day long.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
He's a
hold on. People are wrapped a little different. See, me, don't get it twisted. It's not the fact
get
that I
some
will not
clarification.
spend money, because I have spent money. However, for me, if I go to a gentleman's club and there's really nothing there that I care to pay to look at or partake or whatever, then yeah, the wallet is staying in the pocket.
Can you tell me something?
Sure.
You're at the strip club, right?
Uh-huh.
And let's say you're 2 tables away or whatever. I don't know how it's situated, but let's say you're not right here.
We need to help you out with that, but go ahead.
Yeah, let's say you're not right there where the chick is doing whatever she does, God.
Uh-huh.
What makes you
See, it
spend
depends.
the money?
It depends how the gentleman club is arranged. There have been some where there's just one platform, one woman on each side, and they dance. And you put dollars up there and whatever. Now, in bigger gentlemen's clubs, you have that. Then they come to you, talk to you a little bit, try to get into your wallet, whatever. Then there are other places where you have the big table, the big stage rather, and then you have a whole bunch of little stages around. And on the more expensive ones like that, that's when you can literally see 5 people at one time, and then choose to give your money how you choose to give it or not.
The glamorous ones, some of the high-end glamorous ones, you just put it there. They don't even let you get that far. The nice high-end exclusive.
So you're spending. What makes you pull out your wallet is
you like what you see.
Hold on a second. I'm trying to understand something. Because you can like what you see. That's going to make you take out your wallet, or is there something more to? That looks good.
I can speak for me. I'm gonna speak for me. I can't speak for everybody else.
Okay.
But I'm gonna speak for me. I'm a trick dude. I like to see, and this is gonna be weird to say, but I like to see something I can't see anywhere else. Like for instance,
pop-up soda can.
I mean, well, I've never seen anything like that. But they have a little pole there, a little metal pole. They do some stuff that I can't do on the pole. I mean, to me, that's athleticism. I have to pay for that. But if they just dance in front of me like the significant other or whatever can do. I mean, that ain't nothing. To me, that's not anything. I pay for athleticism. However, you don't pay for ugly athleticism, and that's just being real.
Getting ahead in social media. Priscilla is representing Jersey City. What's up, girl?
Priscilla?
She says women go to strip clubs all the time, see men, which we
need to get into.
That's true. As well.
How does it work for the men that you see the gentleman thing? You see Laser and Master Tom. Those guys that come in to be about 6 or 7.
I would preface
those 6 or 7 guys, men, and then they come together and they do the shows at the basement of some building or somebody's house, and the women go by a dance, or you hear them on the radio all the time.
I don't think full disclosure, I've never seen a bunch of dudes on stage. Don't ever plan to see that. However, unfortunately, in movies and on TV, I have friends girls who've gone to see that type of thing. What is the Southern
Gentlemen?
Yeah, Southern Gentlemen, whatever. It's basically a state. If you've seen, what's the name of that movie? Magic Mike. From what I understand, it's very similar to Magic Mike, the movie Magic Mike. A bunch of dudes on stage, and all they have on is this thong covering up their penis, and a woman can do anything to them. Period. There is no rules such as in some women strip clubs, you can't touch the dancers. Well, in a male strip club, it's completely different, from what I understand.
There's
now,
no
the
rule.
women
You can do what
can
you
touch
want.
the men
Everywhere.
But can the men respond?
Oh yes, they do. In fact, they want you to respond. They would throw you.
Because I would think there would be
respond.
dangers in that, especially if in some clubs the man can't touch the woman. There's a reason behind
with those
it.
men review things, they're very open. Where they, to be honest, they slapping their penis against your face. They're rubbing it between your bras. You lifting it up and rubbing it down. You're simulating. Okay. They doing all these different things at those things. It's all no holds barred. Raunchy.
So I'm at one of those clubs and I touch the man. He can respond?
Yes, he can to whatever you feel comfortable. A woman will come up and say, rub his chest. You give him $5.
How the hell you know this, man?
And did you see how he just kind of elaborated on, demonstrating his...
To my knowledge, and this is, I've never been there.
No.
However,
I want to know how you
hold on.
He's making a point.
Know where Steven's been hanging out.
No. I'm coming back to this. I'm coming back.
He's making a point.
Yeah, I'm coming back. Okay. I want to answer SY's question first.
I want to hear your point, Rudy.
I want to answer SY's question first. Basically, what happened, from what I understand, these guys are very strapping. They're cut. You can see like 8 packs and crap like that. Mm-hmm. And they lift women up and they do all sorts of things, physically, obviously. And they're supposed to be, it's a respect thing from the men. So the men do not like grab them or anything like that. But they will, hey, you want me to lift you up? I'll lift you up, like you riding it or whatever. Okay. That sort of deal. Now, back to Steven. I don't know how Steven knows this.
I'm a very educated man.
I mean, okay. That's all I can roll with.
He was in class.
Before you continue, Steven. I'm getting a bunch of hits in social media about this, so I need to get it all in. First one from Anonymous. Anonymous has works in a business where they had to do. Well, they worked in a business. I won't get into what Anonymous does, but this person has been present at both of the male and female type of settings, and this person is saying that the females are certainly worse than the men. I have absolutely heard that before. We were getting Kaz is saying pole dancers love them. You drop dollars for appreciation. That's how she feels. I absolutely agree with that. Michelle is saying, oh no, Steven, that happens at the fun parties, which I've also heard that. That's why I want to know how the hell you know, and you're not off the hook. Priscilla says that the males are very aggressive and they're grabbing big girls, flipping them upside down and throwing them around. Okay,
but that's a wanted thing.
And Priscilla continues, depending on what state, women aren't allowed to touch men. New Jersey and New York is no holds barred. Now, I could tell you from my personal experience, and Steven, you're still not off the hook, but I haven't said much, so I'm gonna get my word in on this one. I grew up in New Jersey, which is where I spent most of my time going to these clubs when I was younger, and it's physically no holds barred for the guys. You can touch all you want. I was never a big toucher. I'm just not into that. I'm a voyeur. I like to watch. I don't want to touch you. I don't know where you've been. It's like that in Atlanta as well. In New Jersey, you have to be covered. In Atlanta, you can be 100% completely in the nude. Here in Virginia, you damn near got them wearing a flannel bathing suit.
They have to wear at least pasties to cover the upper part.
Here in Virginia, if you go to a reputable place that worries about their liquor license, she might as well be dressed in 3/4. So you ain't gonna see nothing. So that's how that works. So Steven.
Yeah.
I'd like to know how you know, because you was simulating and doing the whole rubbing on the chest thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean.
Okay. I know fully well what goes on both sides of the fence. One, I've done some IT work in both of these locations.
Okay.
And I have also.
So you like Anonymous.
And then at the same time, I have also played security for some money, and I picked up some friends who were trying to get home, so they didn't know either A, their significant other, or B, a bunch of girls were drunk. And Steve, can you help me out? I get the call at 4:00 in the morning.
I'm having a problem.
And you do all those other.
Well, what's your problem?
I'm having a problem with this because if you're doing IT work, then that's not where the stage is. And if you're picking somebody up, then you're outside.
It depends on what you're doing, honestly. If you're setting up the cameras and equipment.
Come on, you're at the table.
Actually, no. I'm setting up for example, one night when the first night they doing everything and they don't know how to work the equipment. I'm working with them that night, the first couple of days to set up, the drive through, run through how you switch the cameras because they filming it or are they setting up other different things. I can tell you I didn't stay the whole time. One time I did.
You getting the rock eye right now.
No,
he's not getting it.
He's getting the rock out.
No, I know shit. I've seen a lot of different stuff. I have heard stuff. I've also had friends who sent me videos, and you see the men. In majority of the states, the men can do whatever. The women usually are asking for it, and you're spinning around and doing a whole bunch of stuff.
I have heard that as well.
Yeah.
I've spoken to some women who have gone to those, and they're normally private parties. And they say that, some of these women are, pretty aggressive about trying to see what it is they want to see. I want to address something that you had said earlier, Eswa. I think you had said, what is it that excites you? And I was getting into the point about how men are visual. We just like to watch. We just like to see.
I'm like, what makes you spend the money?
Yeah, Ruben alluded to it, and so did Cash. You showing appreciation for what you see, But the other thing is, to be quite honest with you, a lot of times cats go in there and they like to throw money because it makes them feel good. It's some sort of status symbol, which that to me is kind of whack. That to me, then some people feel like that.
Some people like to make it rain.
Some people like to make it rain, which
you can't make it rain out on the street.
I mean, it's that to me is kind of whack. But I just want to make it plain that cats like to go because they like to see.
All right, before we go to the next segment, that's why. Have you ever been to a club as such?
No.
Interesting.
Never.
Wow, you need that experience, yo.
You should come with us.
Yeah, we'll take you out
one
night.
What?
Yeah.
You need to experience it.
I'm telling you.
Really, a lot
but
of
you know what's funny? Oh, I'm
Steve,
sorry,
show
Ruben.
it to
I'm
me.
sorry.
women. A lot of women like gentlemen's clubs just as much as gentlemen do. Like for instance, I will not use the names to protect the innocent.
Yes, please don't use the name.
Me and my friend down in Hampton Roads, we took one of our friends who was female to a place because she'd never been. And she got in there and she turned into a different person.
Yes, absolutely. And I think as a dude, you really haven't been to a strip club until you've been to a strip club with a woman. With a woman, and it doesn't matter if she's gay or if she's straight or it doesn't matter. You haven't been, now she can't be a prude either. She can't just sit at the bar with covering up her eyes. She can't be that chick. But if she's in there and she's just enjoying herself, she's having her drink, she ain't even got to be watching the action, man. She could be watching the game behind the action. As long as she's there and looks like she want to be there, I'm telling you, it's a different atmosphere. Yeah. It really is. It's hard to describe. It just is.
Women like there's no more all it is like he said, the feel good and then the attention issue.
I know
But you
you're
know what
watching
it is.
videos.
But you know what it is. I'm gonna tell you something. You know what it is, Ruben.
What up?
Women don't give a damn what we think. They
Sure
only care what they think.
I mean, we say that every week.
They care about each other, man. They do. They chase each other.
I would say that's not for women only.
They chase each other.
That's not a women only statement.
Okay, then fine. It's not a woman only
Because you
statement.
all do that.
I don't really care what another dude thinks. That's just me.
That's
But
me too.
you know, but you
all
know, but if
don't
you
care
happen,
what we think.
oh, okay. Well, a lot of
See?
times we don't. No.
See?
Okay, but let me ask you,
So
women
then
dress
that's why
up for
you
other
get
guys,
what
or
you get.
You know,
but
but
a
the
lot of
thing
women
is,
dress up for other guys. I mean, for
yeah,
other
I mean,
women,
you
not guys.
see the women that get dressed for each other. You know what I mean? Like you go someplace and you gotta take her home because there's a chick in there with the same shoes she got on. It's like, come on, man.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think that goes to our next segment.
Okay.
The last word.
The last word.
The last word.
The last
and
word.
I'm not talking about the Bible, y'all.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the fact that for whatever reason, regardless of what's going on in your life, if you are talking to the significant other, usually a male talking to a female, how come the woman always has to have the last word in everything? Regardless, whether it's your mom, your friend, your girlfriend, your wife, your daughter, your cousin, it doesn't matter who she is. As a man, or even if two women talking, one woman gotta have the last word all the time. And that's why I'm coming to you first, because I think this is squarely up your alley, because I think that you can kind of understand where we coming from a little bit. What is the thing with always having the last word? I mean, regardless if you say it out loud or you mumble it, you just gotta let that other person know I was last. Yeah, I say what I want, and I say it last, and it's done.
Now there are times where I am guilty of that.
Just times.
If it's yes, just times. If it's a male, because you don't listen, so I need for you to hear what I said. Now there are other times, like if it's female or maybe male, depending on what we're talking about. If it's really not that important, okay, so that's what I said. You can ramble on all you want to. You heard what I said, and that's the end of the story.
Okay. Now let me ask you this: do you feel that it's a two-way street on that? Like you just said, he don't be hearing what I'm saying, so I gotta say it one more time to make sure he hear it. But maybe he is hearing what you're saying, and you not paying attention.
No, I'm paying attention
all the time, 100%. No problem. No, always.
I'm paying attention.
Stephen Sykes.
Yes, sir.
Do you feel that's the truth?
I feel majority of the times it's more so of I think it's a level of control, and sometimes a lot of women feel, and consciously or subconsciously, is a level of like, okay, it's men's world, they already got to go through this, and we're not respecting or acknowledging what they may have to go through on a daily basis, or individual, or even, like she said, this particular topic. So, but the problem is people, both men and women, are guilty of this. Listening means I listened to what you said, I heard what you said, but applying, when women say listening, they mean I want you to do this, instead of this. So like if she tells me I need you to listen seriously, some men are guilty of this, and even have I. Like I heard what you tell me that you would like, but I may not want to do that. I may not disagree. So you would instantly say, I didn't listen to what you said. No, I heard what you said. I just don't agree with it and choose to make another decision. So that's where the issue of the last word comes from, and that's where some.
Well, it's not necessarily something that I want you to do. Okay, so I want to back away from that because it's not necessarily something that you want the person to do. It can just be a general conversation. Mm-hmm. We can have a difference of opinion, which sometimes we fail to realize we can have a difference of opinion. And sometimes if you feel strongly about what your opinion is, it's got to be the right opinion.
But will you hold it against that guy, that man? Like for guys, we let it go. But at the same time, would you hold it against them because I didn't, because you had to have the last word?
I'm confused with the question.
Okay, you had the last word, and I said fine, whatever, and I walked away. So you got mad, and you bringing up the letter on later.
Oh no, because you said fine, and you walked away. Mission accomplished. I'm done. Whether you paid attention to it or not, in your head, you said fine. The conversation's over. The conversation's over. I'm not. We're not talking about it again. I'm not bringing it back up.
If I say fine, then you keep saying good. What makes you say good? And I say, okay, thank you.
I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that.
Well, let me jump in real quick. I see what both people are saying. I guess the question is, once the conversation has been called, let's say SY, you have called the conversation. Steven acknowledges that it's done, yet the next thing is one more comment about it, which is quote unquote the last word. I think that's what we're talking about here, because more often than not, I believe that when men and women talk, more so when men and women talk, there is always this thing whereas you may come to some impasse to say, okay, it's either done or I agree or whatever. Yet sometimes, more often than not, the young lady, and some men do this. I don't know why the men do this, but some ladies will say, some just comment, one more comment about it, even though you've had that. So you've had that cancellation of the conversation. It's brought back up.
So you can say, okay, fine. Okay, great.
You say fine. No he says fine. Then you make another comment.
I'll say good.
So now you're getting underneath your breath instead of because you
exactly.
Like, I got the control. I won. Whether it's not about winning or losing, it's about articulating your issue.
All right, Marcus. Let me have Marcus J. Throw his input in. How you feel about that, Marcus J?
I don't need to add a last word. I mean, it depends on the situation. It depends on how emphatic I feel about what I've been talking about. It depends on if I feel like you get it. It also depends on if I think you're gonna get it. If I don't think you're gonna get it, then we can agree to disagree without being disagreeable. If I think you got it, then cool. You know, I don't think that it's a gender thing. You know, having to have the last word. Like stereotypically, you know, women got to have the last word. That's a stereotype to me. It's not something that's always the case. It's often the case, but not always the case. And I don't think it's always the case that men don't listen. It's often the case, but not always the case, because there's some women that don't listen. You know, so, you know, everybody sometimes feels like what they're saying is, you know, is being, you know, is falling on deaf ears. And so as far as having the last word is concerned, you know, I'm a little bit indifferent to it because I don't care about it. You know, like if SY and I are debating something, you know, to use the analogy that you just used a minute ago, and then I say something and she goes good at the end, I don't need to come back and say something else again.
And he doesn't, because it happens. It happens, and he doesn't.
I don't need to, because I already made my point. And if you feel like you need to make another point, then cool. But I'm kind of done with the conversation when I'm done with it, you know. And then when you find me dragging on and on and on, it's because I'm not done with the conversation. And so that's not about having the last word. That's about I'm not done with the conversation, you know. But if the conversation is at the end, we both acknowledge it's at the end. I don't trip off of, you know. That's, to me, that's petty. That's trivial. I don't trip off of that. Getting a hit. Mom is saying, Mom's still listening. I don't always have to have the last word, nor do I need the last word. Kaz is saying she doesn't care about the last word either. She say her piece, and if you're gonna keep on, that's on you. That's kind of how I feel about that, Rube. That's, you know, that's kind of my opinion on it, bro.
Cool. All right. And with that, we'll go into our last part of the segment, which I think is going to bring up some interesting comments. You know, there's always a discussion in the household about who really wears the pants. You know, I have gone on record numerous times basically stating, like, hopefully, you know, when I get married or get into a great relationship, it's close to 50-50, even though I also realize that for whatever reason, there's going to be a 51-49 in some areas. But that's why, in your relationship right now, how do you feel about the pants wearing in the relationship? Do you feel like you have to have it, or do you feel like you rather him have it, or do you rather feel like it should be equal, or what's your opinion on that?
Okay, help me out with something.
Wearing
the pants in the relationship.
The figurative,
right?
Wearing the pants, yes.
Does it matter the situation? Doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, the situation is
because for the most part, we kind of just agree on what we're going to do. There's no, you know, well, this is it.
Okay.
And by gosh, that's it. We don't have that.
So, like, when y'all have discussions about what y'all want to do or where you want to go, do y'all take turns, or does somebody like say?
We talk about what we might want to do, but then it's thrown back at me because he'll admit to not being good at the planning for stuff and making up his mind on which one to do. So it'll be up to me.
Do you feel like you control the relationship more than he does?
No.
You feel it's equal?
Yeah.
Okay. Steven, how do you feel about pants wearing in relationships?
Before you get a comment in, we want to give out the phone number. We haven't given it out in a while. 804-402-2893 if you want to get in on the discussion at all. 804-402-2893. Steven?
I feel that it depends on the situation. I think that's what I was alluding to was something regarding, you know, the situation on money and things of that nature. I could be wrong.
When I said it doesn't matter the situation.
Right.
It matters the situation because maybe there's something that I would just rather him handle.
Okay.
You know?
For me, it depends on the situation, but for me, it's more about if I fall somewhere short in the situation, money, financially, socially, whatever, I will hope that I make the right decision, having a good enough partner to pick me up. So it's not so about wearing the pants or decision. I just want to, you know, we work it out.
Nah, that's not what I mean.
Yeah, I don't.
What I mean is, if you're in a relationship and it is what it is, who is running the relationship? Or is it a true 50-50 split? And we can be honest about this here. Because there's some people, even though old dude makes all the money, wife makes decisions. Okay,
it spiritually, there's two parts for this for me. Spiritually, it says the man's head of the household. But at the same time, you know, in the reality with that is, you know, you're not going to make it in this world without that good woman on the side if you're working with you. So it's just, it depends on the situation for me.
And I'm going to challenge that just because I feel
sure,
like
that's no problem.
I challenge it because, I mean, to be honest, you say spiritually, you know, the man's the head of the household. Well,
you're supposed to. I'll be honest. I can't say I follow that logic all the time.
But I guess what I'm saying is that realistically, in the relationship that you either have been or in or whatever, does your significant other, who makes all decisions, or is it a true 50-50 split, or is it, well, depending on this, he does, depending on that, she does, whatever.
That I would say is a true 50-50. Or some things I let her have, and some things she'll let me have, because you got to learn to. You mentioned this before, Marcus. You have to learn to pick and choose your battles. And some things is not worth it just because you want equal balance. It just depends on the situation. It really is. So if I have it and I want to agree. Now, sometimes there's mentality. Society says whoever has the most money. But sometimes that most money, whether it be the man or female, may not be step back enough and look at it holistically. So, and there's also, they say in a relationship, the guy kind of initiated, but a woman sets the tone. So if she sets the tone in the beginning of the relationship that we're willing to talk and so forth, fine. But if she sets the tone that she's going to be weak and whatever, I want you to handle just about every single thing, then that's where you have to step up and say, okay, knowing this going into the relationship, that's what you have to do.
And before I go to Marcus J, that's why it's got the stink face on over there. So I'm trying to figure out what the stink face. Yeah, you had the ugly stink face.
I had my head turned. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to turn my
Steven
head.
must have said something I didn't agree with.
I'm sorry. It was more pro woman.
I don't know. I just think it's well, I can only speak for mine. 50-50. Really.
Marcus, being the only married person here, you have a little bit more experience in this, I would say, if that's fair to say.
If that's your opinion.
I mean, what is your opinion on the pants wearing situation?
I think it's for 2013. It's kind of trivial to be using the analogy I wear the pants. I know that me personally, I can be a little bit of a tyrant from time to time, and so. I can become annoying from time to time with some of my antics, and sometimes I got to be put in my place. And I think at different stages and different conversations, I've asked each of you to put me in my place, and I've also asked Mrs. J to do the same thing. So I preface my statement by saying that it really doesn't matter, because the reality is what goes on between a couple goes on between a couple. So it shouldn't really matter externally. There's certain things that she's better at than I am, and there's certain things that I'm better at than she is. And so the things that I'm good at, I take the lead on. And the things that she's good at, she takes the lead on, because ultimately, we need to, try to progress together. And if you can't, come to some sort of conclusion on how to progress together, then what are you doing? You know what I mean? And if you're spending, again, we're talking about 2013. We're not talking about the old days where a man's world was dictating the whole who wears the pants type of thing. We're in a time now where a woman can do pretty much anything that a man can do. I say pretty much because she can't do everything he can do, but she can do pretty much he can do. Most women intellectually are smarter than the men they with anyway. You know what I mean? Intellectually. So I don't like to get caught up in that, at least not publicly. Now, at home, we have conversations that are exclusive to at home. But publicly, which is in line generally with how I feel about this, you can't really get caught up in that with today's woman, because if you do get caught up in that with today's woman, then you're going to find yourself constantly in battle, and that's no fun either.
All right. In my opinion, basically is I am for the more the 50-50 split. However, I do understand that there are times where one person has to take the lead on certain things. So, we have a caller? Sweetness. I think we got a caller calling in, and Marcus J is trying to get that set up for us.
Yeah, we got a caller. We got a caller on the live line. Caller, why don't you tell the listeners who you are and where you calling from, caller?
Hey, DJ Renee Melendez here in Jersey.
Hey, DJ, how you doing?
What's going on, girl? Why don't you tell the listeners how they can get your show before you get your comment in?
Every Saturday night, Deep House Sessions with DJ Renee Melendez right here on LegacyInternetRadio.com from 7 to 9. Make sure you move your furniture and have your baby powder.
You got it. We appreciate the love. What you got? What's your comment?
I was calling to chop it up on this subject for a minute because I like to have the last word. Decision making.
Why is that, Renee?
Why is that? Well, a lot of times My husband says things without thinking. You know, and to him, the things he says make sense. Mm-hmm. But when they cross the threshold of his tongue and he come out, they don't.
To you, yeah,
so,
to you, but to him, maybe not.
But you know, when sometimes your mind moves a lot faster than your mouth does.
And your mouth does
and
not
it's
relate.
a bit of a delayed reaction. So you might be thinking positive thoughts that are reasonable, but when they come out, they don't always sound that way.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? And so
we're not going to turn this. We're not going to turn it into the battle of the sexes.
We're all guilty of this.
I'm sorry, I was cutting you off. Let me just say this. You know, SY is agreeing with you, and we're certainly not going to make it the battle of the sexes because, you know, my reality with regards to that is you can think that, not you, Renee, not you, SY, but just you, me, us, all of us in general. You can think that you right all you want, but the person that you battling with going to think you crazy as hell. And so while, you know, Renee, and now I am coming to you directly, I want to address your point, and then you can, you know, retort. You know, you can think that, you know, his mind is going fast and he's saying something crazy, but he might feel the same way about what you say sometimes.
But what I try to do is I try to slow the pace down a little bit, and that's where you have to have dialogue, and you have to have communication. Otherwise, you're just two people talking randomly, spewing BS.
Now that I can agree with.
If I say something and you don't understand it, then at that point that I'm saying it, you need to let me know, listen, I'm not getting too much clarity on that. Can you explain further? And the same thing, you know, the female needs to do in a relationship, or the partner, whatever. You know, listen, I'm not hearing you. I'm not understanding what you're saying. You know, can you bring it to me in another light? Can you break it down a little bit? You know, because you have people who seemingly will say things and they make things sound so far complex than what they really need to be. I'm one of those people, give me the basics. Chop it up, just give me the basics, tell me what I need to know, and let me run with it at that point.
Now, you do realize, hold on, Renee, you do realize that what you just said is a stereotypical male trait, right?
Maybe.
It is, because, you know, we're often told that we don't listen, or we don't say everything that we're supposed to say, and we say that y'all probably tell long, drawn-out stories, which I'm the opposite of that. I'm the one dude that talks too much. But, you know, be that as it may, it's interesting. It's just interesting to hear a sister say that. We got to keep it moving. One more time, tell us where we can find you.
Saturday nights from 7 to 9, right here on Legacy Internet Radio.
Deep House Sessions. Deep House Sessions with DJ Renee Melendez. That's the sister right there. Thank you for calling. I know you listen to us every week. We appreciate it. Keep going. Keep on calling.
Peace.
You got
it. All right,
peace.
Now, thank you, DJ Renee, for calling in, giving your opinion. Now, it's funny how all this comes together, because I like to do things like this. I like to put stuff together and then find out how it links together. And really, of course, adult establishments, back in the day, women couldn't go in adult establishments. Women were the establishment that the adults go to. And now, women have their own establishments. Women go into men establishments because they like that. Also, the last word, the last word is not really meant per gender anymore, because sometimes you just got that dude like Marcus J. who says, even though he doesn't care about the last word, there may be a dude out there who talks too much who gotta have the last word. It's just in their DNA. They gotta have it. And then, of course, we're talking about wearing the pants, who's really running the house, and all that stuff. All these are simple gender roles. And I don't know how long we've been doing this, but we've been doing this for forever. And there are times where I personally feel gender roles have kind of gone by the wayside. Something like what Marcus J. just said. It's not a male-female thing. It is what it is. Everybody's got to do what they got to do. Now, my thing is, I believe that in 2013, gender roles are disappearing. It's not a situation where the man has to wear the pants in the family, as some things dictate, or the woman doesn't have to have the last word all the time, Or you know what? If her and her girls want to go to the strip club to see women dance, they can do that. Gender roles in 2013 and beyond are disappearing. The question is, are you personally ready for this? There's some women who are not, and they feel like the man must run everything. I do what my man says. You know, I'm at the dictatorship of my man, and I ain't like that. That's not how I roll, me personally. But hey, there's some women who want their man to be in control, regardless if he works or not. And she's doing all the heavy lifting. He's still in control. But then there's some other things where the man makes all the money and the woman's in the background. Hey, you do this, give me your check. I don't know how many times I've heard that. Yeah, I got to take my wife my check. What? Insane. But that's just me. That's just a personal thing on me. Hey, look, you know, for those of you out there, gender roles, they're disappearing day by day. You need to either get on board or get run over, because one day you're going to wake up and gender roles aren't going to be there. It's going to be like, yo, this is 50-50 or this 51-49. We got to do it together. It's not going to be you do all this and I do that. It's not how it rolls. Big Rube, round table. Once again, I'm pretty sure some more comments that Marcus J about to talk about. But thank you for listening, and see you in a couple weeks.
You got it. Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J. We got one comment in from Michelle. She says for her, feels like a 50-50 thing, like it was stated. We'll let him take the lead on certain things, but some things need to be mutually agreed upon. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. We're gonna take our final break of the night. When we come back, we got our rants and we got our closings, and we're gonna end the show. Marcus J, Big Rube, SY, Steven Sykes, and you the listener. Stay with us.